It's probably been years since I've said the word dad. The last time I remember saying it is when I was trying to wake him up, but he just kept sleeping. The last time I remember saying it is when I was sitting outside of a hospital room on a hard wooden bench as people in white flitted across the corridor. Perhaps the last time I brought him up is when I innocently asked my mom, when is Papa coming home? He never did. Losing someone is never easy, and it leaves a void because you have to deal with the fact that you are the one left behind. The one left behind with the memories that play on repeat, on and on and on, until all it brings you is pain. You start to wonder if you'd rather forget it ever happened. You start to pretend it never did. You wipe away the last smile he sent your way. You wipe away the last time he carried you in his arms and spun you around like the princess he said you were. You wipe away the last time he took you out for a drive because you couldn't fall asleep at night. You forget, but really, you try so hard to forget that it's impossible to. Everything reminded me of him. When my mom went for a business trip, she called my grandfather to come and stay with me. And at the time, all that I could think of was, how come you still get to meet your dad when I will never see mine again? Starting over is difficult. And it doesn't mean forgetting or deleting a phone number from your contacts that you will never dial again. It means acknowledging absence. It means learning to live your life after everything that's happened. It means learning to pick yourself up. It means learning to smile once a day, twice a day, for an hour. It means learning to smile until it becomes muscle memory, until one day you smile because you're happy. But you know, my mom and I did get very close because of all of this. So imagine my surprise when she came home and told me that she wanted to get married again. To be perfectly honest, I was bribed by a strong Wi-Fi connection and new clothes, so I really don't have much to say for myself. But yeah, how could I have ever said no when she said that it would make her happy? That she wouldn't be lonely anymore. And that's when I realized that in trying to protect her and in trying to protect myself, I had built these walls, and I withdrew my hand. I withdrew my hand and I was alone, just as alone as she was. We started rebuilding our relationship after that by sharing little stories, little pieces of ourselves that we would put in the other's hands as if to say, here, this is for you. I trust you with myself. I learned to let down my walls if I didn't want to be so lonely anymore. I met some people who convinced me that it was a bad, bad idea. And I met some people who convinced me that it was more than worth it. When a tragedy occurs, we have a choice to give in to the void or try and find meaning. And I know that while many moments may be consumed by a vast emptiness, when I can, I want to try and choose life and meaning. The meaning that we find in life may never be the same for us, but the meaning that we do find is constantly subject to change. For me, the absence of my father in itself is his presence. The idea of how he would react to something, whether he would look at me today and tell me that he's proud of me for being brave. Even the evolution of, say, a mother moving on is her acknowledgement that newer presences must happen. And that doesn't mean photoshopping an old presence out of the system, out of the picture. No, it means living by hope. My strongly tribal surname, Horo, that my dad passed down to me, may today have been inconsequential for me when I was growing up with my mother in a city, in Bombay, in IB. And maybe one day, the absence will feel so overriding that I will myself, without being pushed by anyone else, go and search for my own roots. Perhaps one day, my tribal roots will not just serve as a connection between a father and a daughter, but link me to the place from where I take my name from. And that is when absence becomes presence. So for today, I would like to leave you all with just one short message in memory of my father. It is never too late to start again. Thank you.